Okay. So, I think I'm going to be grinding out a bit more of the Abbey now because it's been a while since I've really done a lot in it. I did before I lost all of my footage and had to restart everything, but um, yeah.
Farewell.
Hey Hunter, I'm gonna be saying some words about Blaze for the team. We're gathering in the cave right now. Come join us.
Okay. I think you said. Oh no, he's in the shop. All right.
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody. I know we're all stretched thin at the moment.
We're all here for you, Robbie. We know this is important to you.
But we should move things along.
Oh.
I know what you're all thinking. You thought Blaze was a major league asshole.
Whoa, I thought Professor Xavier was the mind reader, Logan.
Quiet, you. Anyway, Blaze. Yeah, he wasn't nice. But it's not a nice world. And sometimes you gotta be that way to get things done. And he really got a lot of things done. So, you kids remember that. You won't always be so fresh-faced and innocent.
Thanks, Logan. You said it better than I ever could. To be honest, I really struggled with what I was gonna say. Because I used to worship the flaming ground Blaze rode on. And then I met him. And safe to say, I didn't worship him so much anymore. Fairly certain I hated him. Right until he went and sacrificed his life to save mine. Johnny might not have been perfect, but at the end of the day, he was one of us. And I'm glad to have known him. To Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny
Johnny
Blaze.
Blaze.
Is that it? Can we go now?
All right. I was really hoping to get him in the Abbey.
How's it going?
I don't know what they would have done, but anyway. Hello.
Pull up a stool, Hunter. Never too early to get caffeinated. Stark convinced me to put a shot of his new Stark Drive energy drink in my coffee.
Stark Drive?
Sure, it tastes like sweaty gym sock dipped in coffee, but at least it wakes you up. And if we're headed to Transia, I'm gonna need it. This thing could last 24 hours or 24 days. Hard to tell.
This group does not waste time. We will strike at Hydra and Transia quickly, and we will win.
Now there's a real rah-rah spirit I can get behind. I've got no time for long stays overseas. I don't like to pack a toothbrush, and my transient is pretty terrible.
It makes sense that Lilith would go back there. Back to her homeland, that is. Back to the source of her powers.
She's gonna be in for a real nasty shock if she's looking for home. It's not like the old days with the Knights of Wundagore riding around the place. Red Skull and Hydra did a pretty good job of screwing Transia up in every way possible.
The people of Transia are good at heart. There is natural beauty there. We can still save the country from the destruction brought upon it.
We go smash Hydra, and while we're there, we'll plant some trees? Sounds like a plan.
It looks like the others are gathering now in the war room.
Yep, I'll head that way myself. Just need a few more sips of sweaty gym sock. I gotta talk to Stark about getting some new flavors.
All right.
Focus, Robbie. Focus.
Oh, I'm focused, Blade.
Point to Transia on the map.
A map is not the terrain, Blade.
You can't find it, can you?
It's somewhere in the, Russia region? Europe. Near, Germany.
You're our driver, Robbie.
That reminds me, what side of the road do transients drive on?
Just have the hell ride full of diesel and ready.
The Hell Ride doesn't take diesel. It's fueled by the screaming soul energy of the unavenged, the wronged, and the betrayed. And trust me, the Hell Ride's topped off.
Okay, that was pretty badass, Robbie.
Yeah.
I want you to know I understand what you're going through. Fighting your own mother's not easy.
It does me no good to think of Lilith as my mother. She is the enemy of all existence. That is more important to me than any bond we once shared.
That's easy to say right now. It's a lot harder when you're looking her in the eyes.
You speak from experience.
It's why we're talking right now. A vampire bit my mother while she was in labor. She turned. I became this. Hunting those bloodsuckers, I always knew I might run into her one day.
And were you ready?
No one's ready for something like that. Listen, all I'm saying is that fighting Lilith won't be easy for any of us. But for you, it's gonna be hell. I just want you to be ready when the time comes.
Count on it.
Is there anything you can tell us about Transia that might give us an edge?
Transia is a country in trauma. Their borders could easily destabilize at any moment. The people there, they have seen so much war, trauma, and pain. We must spare them at all costs.
Right. I'm packing coffee pods. Anything you like?
Yes, the coffee shop cinnamon blend. Good call, Ileana. Transia is known for lots of trauma, war, and terrible coffee.
We cannot expect to save the day with decaf. That would be counterproductive.
This will be a very strange homecoming.
We are not our homes. We are our family. And our little spooky family here can get through anything together.
I missed you, Ileana.
So, I read in your war journals, issue 47 to be specific, that you've been to Transia.
Is that a question?
More like a prompt. You know, to see if the journals were true, or if there was something you left out intentionally.
Ah, for intel.
Yes, definitely for intel. If so, war journal number 47 is my favorite. So when you were surrounded by Hydra troops in that transient cemetery, did all that stuff really happen? Where you bounced the shield off the tombstones and took out like 10 elite troops?
No.
Oh, so you made it up?
No, I cut out the more unbelievable parts. Lots of redacting. Truth was way crazier.
I knew it!
Let's discuss. But first, the mission.
Right, the mission. Good call, Captain America.
You enjoyed calling me Captain America, didn't you?
Yes, a little too much. I'm kind of a big fan.
Transia? Never heard of it. Do they have burritos?
Well, we have book club.
Heading to book club. Are you?
Meet you there.
Let's get moving.
Okay.
Yeah, my plan backfired. Thought choosing a weird book would drive people away.
Why would you do that?
More punch for the rest of us.
Okay.
Why have I not heard of Crash Morgan? I know it's an older book, but this is exactly the kind of story I like.
I thought Logan might bail. But I told him we bring more snacks this time. I have him figured out. You good?
I am ready.
All right, Logan, I need to know. Why did you choose this book?
I'll tell you, just not yet. I want to hear what you thought of this book.
It was written in the 1940s, so I expected some repugnant attitudes and phrases. But it surprised me. The writing was simple, Yet the story was deeper than it had any right to be.
What was your favorite part?
It's in the chapter where Crash and the princess escape the Zorgots. The next morning, they see the sun rise and Mars rising beside it. When the princess asks what the future holds and Crash just stares at Mars as it eclipses the sun, it gave me chills.
I did not pay much attention to that part.
How can you not appreciate the doomed romance between Crash Morgan and Princess Anilla?
Easy. You root for the Zorgot commander.
Should have known you'd be a Glaxogorp fan. Anyway, I think the moment gets lost when the Zorgots deploy their Null Stalkers.
I don't get why the robot dog didn't warn them. I thought it could talk.
Not until number 19, the minefields of the reticulates. It's a whole thing.
Got it. So, what's the idea with Crash's promise?
What about it?
When Crash apprehends Glaxogorp, they have a tense conversation in the back of the flypod. Crash says there's a way the Zorgots can leave the moon with everything they want, but the princess must take the throne. Then Crash vows that no queen of royal blood shall ever rule Deimos. Glaxogorp agrees, but why? Crash breaks the vow in the next chapter.
Deimos society sounds awful. The Zorgots were right to invade.
You aren't wrong about Deimos society, but the Zorgots went overboard. Glaxogorp was the only one Crash could reason with. And how does that tie into the Hydro gunfight at the top of the space scraper?
Really? You don't see it?
I do.
They're shapeshifters.
Who?
Crash and Glaxogorp.
No.
Yep. But then, when do they...
The Hydro gunfight. Crash gets hit in the helmet and goes down. And what happens whenever Crash is unconscious?
The helmet changes color. Turns bronze like the suit.
Right. Then Glaxogorp pulls up on the rocket sled and takes Crash and the princess into custody. That's when they make the switch. Crash and Glaxogorp change form, but where do they stash the princess?
Does Romut not have a secret compartment?
That can barely hold Crash's hydro gun. It's not big enough to secure the princess. Their plan required her to be in Crash's suit. The opaque helmet keeps her safe. So we get to the Deimos Council meeting. The princess refuses the throne and declares her love for Crash, who is the princess in Crash's suit. When they embrace, the false princess deactivates the Magna Manacles binding Crash. But Crash nabs the Star Scepter from the fake princess, activates the suit's zoom vest, and smashes through the monoculus.
So, if that's the actual princess, she escapes. But who is the false princess?
That's a shape-shifted Glaxogorp. Without the Star Scepter, Deimos can't crown their queen.
Right. She never wanted it, and the Zorgots definitely don't want it. Glaxogorp, posing as the princess, can steer Deimos away from war.
And when the fake Glaxogorp vows the Star Scepter shall be restored to the princess, that's actually Crash.
So Crash made 2 vows and broke neither of them. The cliffhanger with Glaxogorp chasing Crash's ship is actually Crash returning to the princess so they can escape Deimos.
You got it. They reveal the switcheroo at the beginning of number 6, Attack of the Intergalactic Space Weasels.
Clever. I like it more now. And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
That was so geeky.
So, Logan, why did you pick this book?
Because it's fun.
No other reason?
Every book doesn't need to be a teachable moment.
Fair enough.
I almost wish this book was a comic instead. I would have liked to see the monoculus.
Yes.
My book was the best of them.
You have only been to 2 meetings.
Yeah, but you know I'm right.
Okay.
You did not mention a book for next time.
Yeah, with everything going on, I'm gonna put book club on a hiatus until things are less apocalyptic.
I hope we come back to this in the future.
Same here. Books are a gourmet meal for thought. Not to call anyone out, but you just can't feed your mind gristle.
It would be a shame if Nico heard you say that.
Nice try. She knows what I think of her taste in movies. Besides, I said it to her face last week.
What did she say?
Don't make me magic all your books into screenplays, unpublished screenplays. In the face of a threat like that, I'm not too proud to admit I backed down. Well, I'm glad you joined me for all of this. Maybe next time the world is ending, I'll start a sparring club.
A sparring club? Is that just training with a fancy name?
You saw right through me. On your way out?
I am taking off.
Later then.
I actually thought like some kind of sparring club was gonna happen. Ours is the fury.
Ominous indeed.
Alright. This is my third time attempting this.
Hypus was among the first of the Elder Gods born at the dawn of our world. And unfortunately for him, he was also the first among them to die.
How does an Elder God die?
He was consumed by another Elder God. In this case, his own brother, Set.
Lovely. Stop me like that.
By consuming Hypus, Set absorbed his brother's power, but also triggered the downfall of the Elder Gods, as they turned on one another and became demons.
Oh my god.
I mentioned during the last trial, with most of the Elder Gods corrupted, a tomb was born and sent to destroy them. When he was done, he released their energy back to the stars.
And now they watch in silence from above while I fight for their amusement.
Who am I to speculate on their intentions? So far, I'd say things have worked out to your benefit.
Just 3 more.
After this, you should be all the more prepared for whatever Lilith has planned in the coming days.
Oh, I did it!
I'm sure Hypus will be pleased. You've proven yourself more than capable.
A new word of power.
Well, this looks like it belongs here.
Purify.
Hypus brings renewal.
And then I'm really guessing this is gonna be the last one. Some kind of destruction thing.
He is in agreement.
Yeah, 30 there's stuff in here.
Blessings of Hippus.
I don't.
Hippus will provide.
Can I, like, keep going, like, right here? No.
Hippus does not seem to agree.
Yeah. Okay. I'm guessing that chest,
all will be restored.
That's not legendary. I'm guessing I need to be able to break that wall to do that.
Hippus brings renewal. All will be restored. He is in agreement.
Oh, okay.
He hears me, but has no answers.
He hears you, but he's ignoring you. That's what you meant to say.
If his help was warranted, Hippus would provide.
Kind of bothered. No.
There must not be anything here. Perhaps I ask too much of him.
Yeah, you do, I guess.
The god's latest gift seems to be quite powerful. I've already removed a great deal of corruption afflicting the grounds nearby.
I've noticed. I take it that means the latest trial wasn't much of an obstacle for our legendary hunter and their faithful companion.
We were ready for what awaited us.
The power of renewal is indeed a remarkable thing, especially when facing such an insidious problem.
But how did this corruption come to spread across the grounds in the first place?
I mentioned before that Wanda had visions after absorbing the power of the moon seal at my altar. But it's obvious now I didn't truly understand the depths of what she was experiencing.
What do you think really happened here?
I've told you that Wanda wasn't a descendant of the blood. In truth, her magic was born in chaos, from the touch of the dark god Chthon himself. I fear this connection between them was even stronger than I imagined.
She cannot be blamed for something out of her control.
Of course not. Just look at the group we have working with us here. Everyone deserves a chance to prove who they really are.
It is done now in any case. We can only move forward from here.
Renewing the grounds is already an important step forward for us.
Wanda's visions. Were they part of her ties to Chthon? Do you know what it is she saw?
She described them like a dream. Broken, distorted images that she could only remember in passing. But you're right, Hunter. I believe now it was Chthon who came to her, his influence strengthened by the power of the seal she absorbed.
And the corruption on the grounds, this was his influence?
It seems almost too clear now. The corruption on the grounds returned just as Wanda's explorations reached their peak.
Was there nothing in her journal about this?
Maybe we've gotten ahead of her. I should return to the library and continue the translations. Come by tomorrow and I'll let you know if I've found anything new.
Okay.